The Olympics in Paris ended just a few months ago, but we are continuing that Olympic spirit in healthcare and medical affairs. So if you want to be an Olympian, you have 1 day left. 1 day left to join us, to sign up to attend or compete for a third annual global, fully virtual Medical Affairs Innovation Olympics. It represents a significant opportunity to learn, to network, and to create business opportunities for each other, professionally and personally as well. So, today, this is really the last time I'm going to be promoting this year's edition. So, now's your chance to ask any questions, post any comments, my friends. You see the ticker here. 1 day left. The anticipation is building. It's culminating with a strong opening ceremony tomorrow. Ask me any questions once again. What I'll do here today, though, as you think, and you may be wondering, should I attend this event? Should I really sign up? Well, think no more. We promise you an experience that you will not forget in a very, very unique setting. Engaging, fun, sportsmanlike competition among scientists, innovators, and healthcare champions. Go to the Amadea Pharma website for any more information as well. Okay, Amadea Pharma. And I want to go over our agenda. Okay, this agenda that our steering committee of an incredible group of healthcare leaders, industry experts from many different areas of this field, pharma, biotech, medical affairs, with previous executive experience in strategy, market access, sales, medical education, operations. Okay, we've built this learning workshop in an Olympic village, if you will, for healthcare champions. And so I'll go over the this agenda, after which I'll share a highlight reel from previous Olympic events that we've held, for you to get a taste of what you can expect. Okay, so let's go over how the day is going to proceed tomorrow. We're going to start with a welcome, a discussion on why we need to celebrate competition. Before I hand things over to David Barzilai, our keynote speaker, global expert and pioneer in longevity and preventive medicine, who will give us an update on the landscape. After which, Peter Piliero, EVP, Head of Training and Development at the Medical Affairs Professional Society, our sponsor, a globally recognized mentor, a clinician, an infectious disease expert of 11 years, mentor. He'll talk about new approaches to improving healthcare decisions in medical affairs. At 10 o'clock, we have Bob Beeman, our Olympic gold medalist, our current Olympic record holder, which has stood for 56 years. Musician as well. He opened the Paris Olympics track and field competition. So he's just a tremendous individual who's inspirational and who's reinvented himself throughout many different times of his life. We have a live debate, a new format with which we are going to engage a lot of our leaders, who will have to listen very carefully because they'll have to vote in this critical debate on the meaning and value of randomized clinical trials today. There will be a contest in healthcare trivia as well, and prizes will be awarded. So there'll be some competition that we'll start with right away at the opening ceremony. An update from Emily Phillips, an expert in reimbursement and market access, of how to get the best next generation treatments in the hands of patients, right, today in a competitive environment for pharma, right? Very important discussion. After which, we'll talk about the value of metrics, performance metrics in medical, and how they impact our decisions ultimately. From a group of leaders in medical affairs, operations, medical director, as well as management consulting from the Foundation of National Institute of Health as well. That will be a real world case study discussion. And here are the stars. The courageous champions and innovators, scientists, patient advocates from all over the world. You see their flags represented. They will introduce themselves very briefly, as well as previous Olympians and competitors and winners of this event. Bronze medal winner Tanya Colonna, winner of several awards, Noor Lababidi, as well as a repeat competitor for 2 years. They will talk to us about how they've grown their companies and what they're working on today, an update on their current solutions and businesses. Our sponsors, a big thank you goes out to all the sponsors for supporting the spirit of the learning and the opportunities that we're building for each other here. Okay, so they will also introduce themselves and their solutions for our healthcare community. Before we turn our attention to an intriguing panel with very diverse perspectives on new ways to lead and grow business impact in medical affairs, both from a medical affairs leadership as well as tech and strategic executive perspectives. I'm very curious about all of our sessions, including Pier Antonio Russo and his presentation on the power of machine learning to improve healthcare outcomes in medical affairs. Before we will also hear from a patient and a successful entrepreneur in digital health who'll focus on autoimmune diseases and the role of digital therapeutics for many chronic disease patients. And we'll finish the day with a reflective, introspective conversation and a presentation by Neil Doshi, CEO and co-founder of Vega Factor, who will discuss problem solving and how to stimulate adaptive performance to ultimately drive innovation in organizations, including healthcare. We'll reconvene at the end of the day, share our highlights, our notes, and then preview our format of competition, which will start the day after, and October 2nd. There will be 2 rounds of elimination. Before we'll go into live stream debates, and the winners will be announced on October 16th. So once again, I want to open it up for your comments. I'll post a link to register. This is the last promotional event. The last time you'll hear me promote this event. After this, you'll only hear us celebrate and share our learnings and a lot of our stars and experts and ideas, results to the polls that we'll share, also our social media wall, which will be dynamic and which will be changing constantly. So you'll be hearing about Mayo 2024 quite a lot over the next 2 weeks. All right. If you have any questions, again, go to amadepharma.com. And I'll finish with this video just to preview this event and to tease as a teaser for what we have in store for us tomorrow. Here goes. See you soon, my friends. See you at the Olympics.
Development of therapies for rare and even So, Tim, I'd like to start with a quote because it's just what I like to do. And this morning we're going to talk about, I'll use Victor Hugo. And one of his quotes is that there is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Over my 30 years in the industry, medical affairs has evolved at an ever increasing rate. With COVID, we saw industry responses that were extremely rapid. And there were enforced and accelerated changes, in the ways that we worked. We're also entering into an era of personalised medicine, genetic and cellular therapies, and the development of therapies for rare and even ultra rare diseases. And all of these changes present real challenges for medical affairs, but more importantly, I think they present a whole lot of opportunities for us as well. And I think the need for medical affairs at this point in time to innovate and communicate has really never been greater. Victor Hugo also said, initiative is doing the right thing without being told. And I was thinking about these Olympics, and I sort of realized that, they're really an idea whose time has come, coupled with the initiative to create this event. And in some ways, what you've created, Tim, is a love child of two of his quotes. I think we've got the right thing at the right time.
Hi, Tim. Apologies for my absence at the closing ceremony. Apart from time zone challenges inherent in living in Australia, I actually will be on a plane. I really wanted to leave a message for you and all the participants. Firstly, as I said to you when you began on this adventure, this is a great thing that you're doing for medical affairs. There's nothing so powerful as an idea whose time has come, and the fastest way to innovate is at the intersection of different disciplines, where disparate ideas can cross-pollinate. The bringing together of medical affairs and sport was a flash of inspiration, and when I see the engagement that has occurred during these Innovation Olympics, it was obviously inspirational. To the participants, spectators and judges, congratulations on the effort that you have put in to make this Olympics successful. The enthusiasm that's been shown makes me feel very bullish and excited for the future of medical affairs. Finally, Tim, thank you for letting me participate as a judge, and I want to wish all of our finalists the best of luck. The Olympic creed says, the important thing in life is not the triumph, but the fight. The essential thing is not to have won, but to have fought well. I like to finish with the Olympic motto. The motto is Citius Altius Fortius, faster, higher and stronger. And with more innovative and inspirational events like this, that motto will also apply to medical affairs. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chris Cook, a double Olympian, and I have the pleasure today of handing over the baton from last year's event to this year's event to a true legend of our sport, Gary Hall Jr. I'll come on to that in a little bit, but before I do, I would just like to say a few minutes about connecting last year to this year. Dare to Share for Healthcare was our theme last year, and it was a massive success. Collaboration was key, it was crucial, and we realised in the whole process that it is more than just a competition. If you go back and have a look at some of the comments that were made by people who attended, you'll be here as well. We realised it was more than just a competition. Just like the Olympics, there's so much more to it. Just like yourselves, you are in a highly competitive environment with lots of movement. We find that in sport all the time. But actually the key is to work together, to come together and to push each other to be the best we possibly can be. There's no difference with this year's event either. This year is Reclaim Our Health, Revive Our Planet. Under the theme of access of care, continuity of care and quality of care, this year sets out to be another build upon all the great stuff we did last year, but also to start to listen to what is the problem. We're not going to be successful unless we focus on the future healthcare of our children. I'm going to say that again. We're not going to be successful unless we focus on the future healthcare of our children. So we're really talking about longevity here. We're talking about aiming just that little bit higher. What can we do to connect the health of our environment with the personal health of each and every one of us? That's so crucial. We need not just to focus on innovative products, but also the quality of life and the sustainability for generations of patients. If it's not available, we can't access it. We need to be improving the sustainability of life and taking that holistic approach. Throughout this challenge, you will undoubtedly be pressed to step back and be forced to think in a different way. My coach always used to say a phrase to me that made me smile but made me think. He said, often we can't read the label from inside the bottle, which I absolutely loved. And what he was really saying is there, if we want to be better at something, we need to step out and step away from it. When we put a little bit of distance between that, we can often see it through a very different lens. And there may be something in that for you to take away and think about. So think about the treatments that don't just solve the immediate problems, but also have a longevity to the situations we find ourselves in. The global situation, we're all aware of it. We share this challenge. I don't see it as a problem, I see it as a challenge, and we will solve it bit by bit, but we have to come together. Similarly, through COVID, I heard people say that we're all in the same storm, but we're all in different boats and vessels, which I absolutely loved. We had this cloud above us, but we were all in slightly different situations. We still needed to face that storm. We have to do this by ourselves, but we can't do it alone. What a fantastic phrase. So it gives me great pleasure, as you can tell from the beaming smile on my face, to hand over to Gary Hall Jr. Just a quick story before I do. We both were very, very lucky enough to share an Olympics, which was Athens in 2004. And one of my fondest memories was not only swimming myself, but waiting for my final, to go out to my final. And as I looked across, I watched the men's 50 free. At the end, Gary Hall Jr. won. And it wasn't just the medal that really got me. It was what happened afterwards. I watched all of the competitors get out of the water, climb out, and Gary Hall Jr. stood at the side of the pool and he waited for every single swimmer to come out. He shook their hand, congratulated them, then he went and celebrated. That's the measure of the guy, that's the measure of the athlete you've got speaking to you today. I could not be handing over to a higher idol in the sport as Gary Hall Jr. So, one last thing I will leave you with. How do we create certainty and urgency? And can we come together to build that certainty? I'll hand over to Gary Hall Jr. Thank you.
Let's introduce Gary Hall to talk to us about an Olympic call to reclaim our health and revive our planet.
Hello, Tim. Thank you for having me. And what an introduction. Chris, thank you. Thank you. I'm so humbled and touched that people remember the poolside stories of Athens, something that happened so long ago. It's just impressive to see how he continues to inspire and motivate. And that opportunity now falls in my lap today here with all of you and sharing my story, my path, my journey, and how I became the first one with type 1 diabetes to compete and medal in the Olympic Games, and try to draw a correlation between what medical professionals do and drug development and what athletes contend with at the Olympic level.
I just want to congratulate you, first of all, on an amazing event and meeting. That's obviously a lot of work, hard work's gone into it, and some tremendous moments. And from Gary Hall, a 5-time Olympic medalist, opening the game, and to all the competitions that's taken place. But I think a key takeout, two probably key takeouts from me, and leaning on what you've just said then, the industry needs innovation, and it needs innovative thinkers. It's very easy to be overwhelmed working in the huge environment and landscape that is healthcare, to think that, you know, one small idea can't change the world or can't truly impact somebody's health down the track once you've implemented. But from what you've just discussed, it can. In a big, slow-moving traditional top 20 pharma company, innovative thinkers within that company can move the dial. So, and these sort of competitions are amazing at getting these ideas out in the public domain and discussing and fleshing them out and figuring out ways that they can be further iterated to improve that. So it's an amazing event, very worthwhile. And secondly, to Gary Hall's comment that you mentioned, he didn't really start to appreciate how good he could be and appreciate the nature of competition until he respected his competition. There was a moment that happened yesterday between Mahek and Amit, where Mahek actually said, look, when this is all done, I'd like to get together with you. I think we could collaborate on this idea. These guys are in the heat of battle, competition in a semi-final with gold medals and prize money on the line, and still could take time. And it was a real celebrate humanity moment for me, which reflects the Olympic movement in general. So, yeah, it's been a great event. It's been a pleasure to be a part of it, and kudos to everyone organising and involved.
Thank you. And you've been a big part of that, Steve. So I thank you as well.
So
I think Noor,
Noor, go ahead. I think you were going to jump in before.
What I wanted to say about this competition, it's very short. Well, as a startup founder, yes, in really short amount of time, huge progress my startup made because of this event. Listening to these awesome people that give speeches in this Olympics, and networking with innovators and the competitors, learn from them, the competitors who were winning better places than what I was gaining, learning from them, seeing their pitch. Obviously, that's also a lot of inspiration and information. And also the networking. So like I was able to get a really key new team member to my startup because of this event that I would have never found. And it's like exactly the missing component of my startup was found in this Olympics. So, and the feedback from Liz and Tim on my first pitch helped me with a new member, Rashad Masoud. Actually, he's now the third co-founder and chief medical officer in my startup. So the combination of Liz, Tim, Rashad, almost the startup pivoted. It's not really pivot, it's actually more focus on what is the right problem to solve and why us are the people with a unique advantage that will make it a successful startup. So the competition, of course, respecting the competitors, and the most important is to network with these super knowledgeable people. So I'm thankful. It was a great event, and I hope to be part of it every year.
Thank you. Thank you. I know you were part of it last year, and Noor and Steve as well. So I know you're going to be part of it again. So thank you.
Well, I'll go ahead and jump in unless you have somebody else on cue there, Tim.
No, go ahead, Liz.
I will say my first year, and I have loved every minute of it. I will say that what I've witnessed, these past 2 weeks is like true mentorship by everyone, not judges to competitors. It's been everyone to everybody. It's been so rewarding, but it's also given me so much hope, right, of what to expect in the future. So many great ideas. I've heard so many wonderful great ideas, and they're all in different places in the spectrum of development, but all of them are fulfilling so many different unmet needs out there. And I will say another thing that I found these last 2 weeks is I'm really optimistic about the future and how technology could really unlock, our power to be able to do better, right, for patients. Because what I've noticed here is everybody here is truly committed in trying to improve, people's lives, either through themselves or through others and helping others. And I caught the same thing, Steve, that you caught yesterday between Mahek and Amit, and it completely warmed my heart. And I will say, you get just so much inspiration from seeing something like that. So again, Tim, thank you so much for putting something like this together, really innovative in the way that it you've planned it and put it together. And thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. And I look forward to more of these types of events where people really come together and really try to problem solve.
Thank you very much. Feelings mutual, I can say, and I can tell you all that it's even though we've come already this far and we're basically concluding this event, it's somewhat bittersweet, almost, just like true Olympics are. I know that we will continue our conversations and our community and an Olympic village that I think we've been able to create. I want to pass the baton now to Gary Hall, our Olympic champion, who's been graciously waiting to close the games.
In keeping with the closing ceremonies of the Olympic movement, it is necessary to thank the host. And so that's you, Tim. Thank you for putting this together, putting this on. Thank you to Amadea Pharma and your contributions to making this happen. And with that nod of gratitude, I hereby declare that the Medical Affairs Innovation Olympics of 2023 is officially closed. Congratulations to the competitors and good luck.
Thank you, Gary.
Okay, so with those fireworks, before we conclude this last promotional session, I'm joined here by my expert judge this year, Said Babai, Managing Director, Emeritat Investment. Said, I'm so glad that you'll be also join us.
Thank you.
You'll join us this year, and have kind of partake in those festivities and those fireworks we saw.
It was exciting.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't say much more about this. I've been promoting it so much over the last few weeks, but please, what's on your mind as you kind of think about tomorrow and the next 16 days?
Yeah, I'm super excited. We get this massive thrill, going through our veins, coming across,
Right.
With younger entrepreneurs looking at their innovation and being part of this ecosystem that, trying to really provide our 2 cents and be a value added for the next generation scientists, entrepreneurs, and great companies. So I've been super excited. Really can't wait to see. And thanks to you and your team to really gather, the best of the best around the table and providing us an opportunity to be part of that sort of thinking and ecosystem. So very exciting times.
Sure. And I want to tell everyone who's watching and who may be catching this that Said Babai is a veteran investor, a scientist, and also an expert judge at many large global competitions. And so his input will be particularly interesting, I think, to our competitors and young entrepreneurs and of various different stages actually in their career. Not only those that are starting and young, but also those that are quite seasoned as well, who are actually submitted some ideas this year. So you guys have just a tremendous opportunity. You still have time to sign up to compete or attend. That's why I put that, the reminder down here. And I would like to just give the last word to Said to take it away before we close. And
sure. Just one sort of recommendation I have for our entrepreneurs that if your technology and the services is really pertaining to a specific geographic region, here we're really looking at everything beyond borders is a global thing. If you're silent on sort of the geographical specification of your technology, we're going to make the judgments on a global basis. But sometimes, and as Tim said, a lot of the judging that we do is very specific. Either it could be East Asia, it could be North America, it could be Europe, it could be the MENA region. So please, sort of make the point if your go-to-market strategy starts with certain jurisdictions and then you're going to expand. Obviously, you're in the business of a healthcare. Healthcare doesn't have a border, but it's important for us to know that if you're a European-based company and you're starting out of Europe, what that strategy is, and being silent on it, back of our mind, and we're particularly based in North America, is a nature of the human being. We're going to make the judgment that how is this really pertaining to the US market or Canada or elsewhere. So really the onus goes on you to make us educated at, what's really the relevance and what's your go-to-market strategy within the timeline and the guidelines that has been provided to you. And that can be very helpful.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you soon. See you tomorrow, everyone.
Bye-bye.